Welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team. And I'm Ken Dekker.
And I'm Ryan Dekker.
And we're like, he's the chip off the old block, really. We're part of the Dekker Team. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to talk about people's most favorite question that they ask us at parties and at church and all over the place,
Everywhere.
right? Everywhere.
Gas station.
Gas station. Hey, what's happening with the market? Yeah, it's always a great question. And we always have this little caveat, and that is that when we're talking the market, we're going to talk general statistics today, but there are micro markets, neighborhoods, even streets, sometimes buildings, if you're talking condos. They are their own micro market, and we have to compare with that building, not other condominium buildings. So although we're giving you a general snapshot of what the market's doing, which is great in general to understand that, we also will want to come out and see you and look at your micro niche and make sure we're pricing your home properly for what's going on in your market, because your market may be slower than the average and it may be much faster than the average. And we want to make sure, because there's still areas that are getting multiple offers and other areas aren't.
Yeah.
And all that relies on pricing, of course, whether you get multiple offers or not. So, condominiums.
Yeah, let's hear about them, Ken.
Okay, so sales for March. We're just going to do March right now, and then we'll do the first, basically, quarter up to April 17th.
So what kind of condos are we talking? Are we talking about row units or condo buildings? Like
All of them.
All of them.
All of them mashed
Everything
together.
with a condo fee.
Yes.
Okay.
So not a common element fee, but a condo fee, where they actually generally maintain the exterior of the building.
Not always, though?
Not always.
Okay.
We have to verify that for people, and that's one of the reasons you want a realtor working on your side, so you know exactly what you're paying for and what you're getting. So sales in March were 225 sales.
Okay. That's just in March, so 1 month.
Yes. Last year we were 241 sales. So that's a decrease of 6.6%. Not super great.
No. Well, both winters were cold this year and last year, right?
That's true. So similar weather,
yeah.
I think. Now what's interesting is this is the 5th March in a row. My charts only go back 5 years. But this is the 5th March in a row where there's been a decrease in sales in March.
In condos?
Condo sales. Yeah. So in 2011, there were 296 sales.
Wow.
Compared to the 225 this month.
Now, does this count the new builds or resale?
It does. Very few new builds are in here.
Okay.
Only if, because this is the MLS system. This is not every sale on the Ottawa market and the surrounding areas, but this is what was processed by realtors through the MLS system. So there are new builds on top of this, and that could be part of the factor that's drawing the numbers down, because there's more new construction in the condo field. But if a builder decides to list a unit with a real estate firm, then that sale would show up on these stats. Okay. No change in sale price. Average sale price year over year, March to March, $251,000. So, and exactly pretty much $251,000 last year.
Okay. Cool.
So stable. Over 3/4 of the sales were under 275. Now that's interesting, because I just recently sold a 1-bedroom condo kind of towards the downtown area, which was, I think, about 550 square feet, pretty small, for 280. So 3/4 of the sales were under 275. That means there's not a ton of condo apartments selling in the downtown core in those kind of prices. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about inventory, because why do we want to talk about inventory?
Well, basic economics would tell us the higher the inventory, and if demand stays the same, then the prices should decrease.
All right. So is demand staying the same or going down?
So it shows us it's actually going down right now.
Okay.
The sales are decreasing.
And let's talk about inventory.
Yeah.
Inventory, 1975, not the year 1975, but there was 1,975 condos for sale when I last checked 2015. That's at the end of March. compared to 1900 in 2014. So that's an increase of 4%.
Okay.
Okay, so inventory is increasing.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at from 1015, we were 1,015 in 2011. So 5 years ago, the end of March, we were 1,015. That's a 95% increase.
So essentially, we've gotten double the inventory
Yes.
in the last 4 years.
All right. So inventory is going up.
Fast.
Sales are going down.
Slightly.
Where should the price be going?
It should be going down, but it's not.
It's not.
So, yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's part of the pressure on not so many sales in the condo market, is maybe the prices are slightly inflated because they haven't dropped in lieu of the amount of inventory.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the other things that could be affecting this is a lot of for sale by owners are able to post on our site now.
Okay.
Whereas 2011, that wasn't really the case.
That's true.
And so we're getting a lot more listings, but the for sale by owners have a lot less percentage of selling.
That's true.
And so it may be slightly inflated how many homes we have on the market now, just what's showing up. Yeah, Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I don't know if our viewers are making sense or the people
so
listening.
clarify that for them.
So basically what he's saying is there is a facility with some real estate brands that they will do what they call a mere posting. They basically just stick your property on MLS and leave you to the wolves.
Yeah. And they charge you for this up front.
Upfront
so
fee.
regardless if it sells or
Yeah,
not.
so it's just an advertising fee. And what we're finding is that just throwing it on the MLS doesn't mean your house is going to sell or your condo is going to sell. It takes a lot more to sell a property. That's just one of the tools in our toolbox for marketing a property. So inventory is going to be up because of that. Mm-hmm. I agree. And probably we're running, well, let's look at it. If we have 1,975 condos for sale and we sold 225, and yet my concern is not so much the months of inventory, it's what percentage are actually selling. And it's difficult to get it from these stats, but I think it's in around the neighborhood of 40% of the properties that go on the MLS actually sell. Okay, a lot of people think you put it up, it's going to sell. Not necessarily, it's about 40%. Now the Dekker team runs a little over 80% of our houses that we list for sale, we actually sell. That's a pretty good stat compared to the average of the MLS.
Yeah.
So I think we're even running a little ad on CHRI that says if you've had a struggle selling in the past and you didn't get it sold, now give us a call because we'll get it sold for you. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Let's talk about freeholds for a minute.
Yeah.
Now, freehold is anything that doesn't have a condominium fee. It's registered. Title is slightly different.
So does it have to be detached?
Does not.
Okay.
Freehold can be a townhouse, can be not usually a stack, but it can be a townhouse, can be a 3-story, could be a semi-detached, could be a bungalow, could be even semi-detached bungalows now. Mm-hmm. Any single family home that has what we call fee simple registration, so it's the highest level of ownership. So 970 sales in March, that's quite a few.
Yeah, just shy of 1,000.
Yeah, very good.
I know, right?
You're
Good
sharp.
math.
You're sharp. So that's for the month of March in 2015. Now, 2014, there were 930. So
Okay.
what percentage of increase is
Well,
that?
I can read the paper, so
okay.
we're at 4%. My
All
math
right.
isn't that awesome, but my reading skills are.
Yeah, so now what's interesting is, you know how the condo sales were actually lower than 2011?
Yeah.
Number of sales kept, I said, every year in the last 5 years, the sales have gone down. Not so with freehold. So if I compare to 2011, there's about 30 more sales in 2015, March of 2015, compared to 2011, March 2011.
Okay.
So they're going the opposite direction, which is interesting. Now, again, no change in the average sale price. March over March, identical, $386. So when you're pricing your home, or we're working with you pricing your home, if you're in a neighborhood that hasn't moved up or down, and it's right, basically prices have stayed level for the last year, then we're going to recommend that you put your house up for sale very, very close, if not at, the last sale price of the most relative home to yours, when we do a little bit of add or subtract because of location or upgrades or whatever. But the pricing's got to be very tight, because we're not in a market where prices are going up and you can overprice and just wait for the market to catch you, right? If you overprice in a market that's going up 4, 5, 7% a year, if you overprice by 5%, in 8 or 9 months you're at the right price. But when the market's flat, if you overprice in 8 or 9 months, you're still overpriced and your house isn't selling. What it's doing is it's causing the properties that are for sale, that are priced properly, it's causing them to sell, because they're going comparing houses. And anybody who wants to buy something that's comparing a few is going to buy the best value, right? If you go to buy a computer, and let's say the computer is laptop, it's $6.99 at one store, and you go to another store and it's $7.99. Which store are you buying it at?
$6.99 if it's the same laptop.
How come?
Because it's cheaper, and it's the same thing.
Yeah. So you've got relatively the same product for less money, right? So it's better value. Now, if you go to the one, now let's say they're the same price, they're both $6.99, but one comes with twice the size hard drive, a faster processor, and more memory. Same brand of computer, same screen size and everything.
Well, then I'm taking the one with more bonuses.
More bonuses, because it's got better value, right? And the same thing with houses. If they're relatively the same, but one's got upgraded hardwood and maybe some granite or something like that, that's got the bonuses. And if they're the same price, you're buying the one that's valuable, right? So it all comes down to value in the eye of the buyer, because the buyer ultimately determines the price. Yeah. All right. So interesting. 2,600 new listings came on the market in March in residential. Now you look at, we sold 970, but 2,600 got listed that month.
That's a lot. So that's not what's on the market, that's what's listed.
That's what got listed. What's on the market is that figure of, we didn't even go there. 5,500.
Okay.
Compared to 5,050. So it's a 9% increase in inventory. I think a lot of that has to do with 2,600 coming on.
Yeah,
that's a big increase. Realtors were pretty busy.
Yeah.
We listed a few of those.
Yeah.
And sold a few of them already. So 2011, compared to 2011, 3,700 houses in 2011 compared to 5,500. So that's a big increase.
Compared to how many are selling.
Yeah, I wrote down on the chart 5%, because I can't remember all these numbers off my top of my head. You guys know that I'm reading some of these numbers, right? So 3,700 to 5,500, that's probably about a 60% increase if I don't have a calculator in front of me. But a fairly significant increase. But sales are going up too, which is good. That's holding the price. So this makes sense. Condo prices don't make sense in a general economic situation. So are they going to go down? Maybe. It has to do with affordability. Affordability is the other element that adjusts that, and that's the interest rate.
And it also has to do with if sellers believe the market's going to go down or not.
Yes.
Because if you don't believe it's going to go down, well, you're not going to lower your price. You're just going to wait. And so the stability in Ottawa historically is really strong. And so that can be causing some of this, it's fine, we'll wait another year. We'll rent it out, and it doesn't really matter. We're fine.
Yeah. Maybe we'll rent it out.
Yeah.
Now, some of the rental market's a little softer as well, because I think with this number of inventory and some vacant houses, more people are turning to renting property right now. So what's going to swing all this? Population growth. So get out there and have babies. No, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe I'm not. Go ahead, have some babies. It's okay. if population increases, there's more demand for housing, right?
Yeah.
So
I can't believe you just told the audience to have babies.
why not? Nothing wrong with that. That's how we keep the.
Yes. Let's move on. Yeah. Good. Good. Let's not go down that rabbit trail.
Okay. So let's talk year to date because we finished the quarter, and I actually did it right till April 17th. It was the latest data that I had.
Yeah.
So condominiums, 2,025 active listings as of today of this show.
So condos, we got about just over 2,000 on the market.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the first quarter of the year, plus a little bit in April, 592 were sold with an average sale price of $258,
Okay.
which is actually a 0.7% increase over the same period a year ago.
Okay.
So first quarter a year ago compared to this first quarter.
So inventory's gone up, numbers sold have gone down, but price has actually still gone up with condos.
Yeah, because we actually sold 799 condos in the same period of 2014.
Okay.
So, and average days on market, pretty much similar. 57 days. Those are the ones that sell, not the ones that never sell and not the ones that have been sitting there for 2 years or 1 year on the market. The ones that sell on average is 57 days, 60 days a year ago. So time on market is very, very similar. 26% decrease in number of sales in the same quarter.
That's a big decrease.
That's a big deal, dude.
Dude.
So let's talk about freehold.
Okay, what's freehold doing?
Well, I think it's doing okay. 7,144 actives.
So what's interesting when you say these numbers, that's like just over 3 times what the condo market's doing as far as numbers.
Yes, it is.
And that's because we have more of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's a good thing because although there were 592 condos sold, there were 2,948 freeholds sold. So it's a much bigger chunk of our market. So it's almost a better indicator.
But 6 times the sales.
Yes.
So
it's a better indicator of what our market's doing because it's a larger segment of the inventory. So interesting. That's about 10 months inventory.
Okay.
Which is still significant, but our market's doing well. So average sale price 371, 54 days on market, and that's approximately 1% up.
Okay.
I rounded up.
From last year.
It was like 0.9, but
okay.
I rounded up to 1%.
It's about 1%.
1% price increase, so not a lot.
So if I had a home last year that I bought for $300,000, this year, same house, I could probably
get 302,
on average,
303.
Now, okay.
Yeah, not much change.
Okay.
And so real estate's a buy and hold, right? Because if you're buying for a short period and wanting to resell, the cost of reselling eats up any growth, and in this market where it's only going up 1%, eats it up quickly.
Okay.
So if you're coming into Ottawa and you say, hey, I'm only going to be here 1 year, maybe 2 years, I might suggest renting is a better option for you unless you want to buy it, rent it when you leave. Because if you just buy it and unless your company or your government is covering your legal costs, your commissions, and moving and all that to sell,
and to buy,
then it's not necessarily worth it. But if they're covering all that in and out, then why not get the 1-2% growth?
Plus, you're getting your own mortgage pay down.
Yes, you
instead
are.
of paying that to the landlord.
Right.
So there is some other benefits there as well.
Yeah. So on a $300,000 house we were talking about, which is probably a condominium.
Yeah.
If what would be the pay down? Let's say they put 20% down, so they had a mortgage of $240.
About $6,000 a year.
About $6,000 a year.
To start, it gets more as you move on. Okay. But near the beginning.
So in 2 years, about $12,000. The house has gone up. Let's say it only went up 1%. That's $6,000
for both years.
Yeah, so that's maybe about $6,000.
So that's $12,000. Or sorry, no, that's 18.
Total 6. So 18. Yeah. So about $18,000. Now it's starting to make sense. Not to rent.
Yeah. Now, if you were to do that over the long period, or even rent it to someone else and not have Yeah. To pay for the expenses.
So what's our 10-year average in Ottawa?
Right now, is it on this paper?
It isn't. I think it's
right
around
now
4.5.
Okay, I was going to say 4.6.
Yeah, so somewhere right around there. 4.5, 4.6 last 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's compounded. So if you bought that $300,000 house and it went up 4.6, so it's basically going up just shy of $15,000, and then next year it's going up, maybe 15.5, and next year it's going up 17,000, and so on and so forth. So that's a compounding effect. So in 10 years, the house is probably well over $400,000. So it's a quick way to make $100,000.
I think so.
Nice
stable way.
I love real estate. Maybe I should buy some more.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
We can do that after the show.
Oh, after the show we'll go shopping?
Yeah.
Okay. You know a good realtor?
I do.
Excellent.
A couple of them.
Excellent. So the same period last year, and again, I think this was the coldest winter on record in a lot of years. I don't know, 100 and some years, longer than I've been on this earth. It was the coldest one I've ever experienced. And it must be the coldest one you've ever experienced.
Well, if that's the case, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not older than you.
Thanks.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. So 2014, same period, 3,295 houses sold. So that's a decent decrease. But again, the price was slightly lower. Same number of days on market, 54 days on market on average.
And that's for the solds.
Yep.
So if you price it right, it took about 54 days to get it gone. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say someone's thinking, hey, you know what? The market's not going up that much. Is it a good time to move up? Is it a good time to move down? Is it a good time to buy an investment property? What's your thoughts?
Well, let me talk about the investment property first, because that's my favorite.
That's your passion.
That's my passion. So we'll talk about that. As we just talked about, if you're getting $6,000 in mortgage pay down, and you've got the rents covering the rest of the expenses, and you're getting, a $3,000 increase, which I believe over the long run will go back up to our 10-year average, around 4.6 to 5. Okay. So right now it might be a little lower, but it's going to be cheaper to buy today. Plus, you're going to have those pay downs. So I think it's a great time to buy, and we've got lots of inventory, which means we can look for the right home.
That's true.
You
don't have to rush, but when you find the right one, you
need
act,
to move. Yeah,
because other people are looking for the right one as well, right?
Yeah, the properties I've done this week have almost all of them been multiples, or we just squeaked in before another offer came in.
Wow!
So it's if
you're looking for the right price, right property.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So what about if you're downsizing? Is now the right time?
Yeah, because the market hasn't moved a lot. So you're still going to get pretty decent value for your house, and you're going to have a lot of inventory to choose from on the one you're buying. And likewise, if you're moving up. Now, what's interesting is moving up, there's probably more inventory to choose from than moving down because there's more demand in the lower price ones.
Yeah.
All right? But if you're moving up, that's awesome because your house has a more likelihood of selling because there's a larger percentage of buyers in the lower price range. So you get that sold, and then you can go and negotiate, and you can negotiate fairly strong on a bigger house because you don't have the condition of selling a house. So you're basically a cash buyer. And there's fewer buyers for those more expensive homes. So I think it's a great time.
So what you're saying is there's more people who can buy a home worth $300,000 than people who can buy for $900,000.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And most people don't jump from a $500,000 to a $900,000. That's the exception. Most people will go from a $300,000 townhouse to a $400,000, $450,000, $500,000, somewhere in there.
Maybe $750,000.
Freehold, maybe $750,000. That's a big jump too. Because you figure $100,000 worth of mortgage is going to cost about $450,000, $500 a month, depending on the interest rate. Yeah. So if you're increasing mortgage by $200,000, that's about $1,000 a month. So your family income has to have increased pretty good, or you got rid of some debts or whatever, and to have that affordability to go buy that $200,000.
Or you've been in the house a long time and you've got a lot of equity. And
yeah, maybe it's even paid off.
Yeah. Now you can make the jump.
And make the jump yeah. Okay. So great. So we got a couple properties to talk about.
Tell me about them.
Well, 2 totally different properties. Pretty cool. One's a townhouse in Central Park. So right basically near the experimental farm. Mm-hmm. Convenient for busing, convenient for commuting. It's a townhouse. I listed at $375,000. It's a nice home. That area is typically townhomes are a little more money than if you're maybe out in Barrhaven or Canada, because you got to go through the Greenbelt, so it's a longer commute.
In Barrhaven or Canada, whereas this one's already in.
This one's in the core.
In the core, yeah.
Yeah, not downtown, but it's in the core. It's quick to get somewhere. Excuse me. Fresh carpet, some new light fixtures. It's one of those designs that has the big windows in the back with the staircase that goes down the back, so the light from the windows goes and fills the basement.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice design, upgraded kitchen. It's really move-in condition.
It's good to go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, beautiful at $375,000. And then if you want some more space,
space.
Yeah, we've got one in Arnprior.
Okay.
Now Arnprior is a little bit west of the city.
Yeah.
But if you're working in Canada, Arnprior is not a stretch. It's not that far to go and very little traffic compared to driving through the city. Around $350,000. This is a turned high ranch. If you're not familiar with a turned high ranch, it's really interesting. High ranch is basically a bungalow that's built up out of the ground.
So when you come in, you got to either go upstairs or downstairs. Generally.
Yes. Yeah. Now the nice thing with a turned high ranch is instead of being a bungalow where it's stretched across the frontage of the lot, the bungalow is turned so it's perpendicular to the frontage. Mm-hmm. Then you have your garage, and you have a nice big foyer between the garage and the house. So that's your entrance. And then, so you can go into the garage, you can go in from the front door. Quite often there's a door to the back as well. Mm-hmm. And then you have your staircase, half up to go upstairs or half to go down the basement. Beauty is nice bright basements, big windows. This is on 2 acres, so if you need some space to run, you got a big dog, a little dog, you got kids, you want to hit a baseball without breaking the neighbor's window, this is ideal for you. Yeah, and that's right around that $350,000 range. Very affordable, nice home.
Awesome.
Yeah. Gleaming hardwood floors, by the way. Did I mention that?
I don't know if you did, but that's great.
Okay, so if you're interested in this property or any other property that is for sale on the MLS, because we can help with no matter what it is.
Or if you want to sell. If you're thinking
we do that too, don't we?
We do that too.
Okay. Give us a call. 613-860-4663. That's 613-860-4663. You've been listening to the Inside Track on Real Estate by the Dekker Team. Have a great day.